Let's talk about one of the most frustrating feelings on the planet. You know the one. You spend hours, maybe even days, cramming for a test or learning something new, only to have it completely evaporate from your brain when you actually need it. Sound familiar? Well, today, we're going to get to the bottom of exactly why that happens and what you can do about it.
I mean, seriously, it feels like this, right? You pour all this knowledge in, facts, dates, formulas, you name it, and it just feels like it's all leaking right out. You sit down for the exam, or you try to recall that information a week later, and there's just nothing. It's so common, and honestly, it's super discouraging.
So here's the good news. What if I told you the problem isn't you at all? You don't have a bad memory. The issue, almost always, comes down to the method you're using. It's like we've all been handed a spoon and told to dig a hole. It's just the wrong tool for the job.
Okay, let's start with a scene we all recognize, the all-nighter. You've got that big exam looming, you've got your textbook, your highlighter, maybe a giant mug of coffee. You read, you reread, you highlight everything that looks even remotely important. You feel like you're being super productive. But what happens next? Well, that's the real problem.
This feeling right here is universal. It's that sinking feeling that all that effort, all that time, was completely pointless. The information was right there, and now it's just gone. This is the core problem we're going to unpack and solve right now.
So, what is this wrong tool I'm talking about? Well, chances are it's your go-to study method. You know, the one we all fall back on because it just feels so comfortable. It's rereading our notes, rewatching lectures, or just mindlessly going over the textbook again and again and again.
Let's give this thing a name. Let's call it the villain of our story. Passive review. This is any time you just let information wash over you. It's reading, highlighting, listening. See, it feels like you're studying, but your brain is actually in low power mode. It's not really doing any heavy lifting. And that, right there, is the problem.
Now here's why passive review is so tricky. It creates something psychologists call the illusion of fluency. When you reread a chapter, the words and ideas start to feel really familiar. Your brain then makes a huge mistake. It confuses that feeling of familiarity with actual mastery. You look at a page and think, oh yeah, I know this. But what you really mean is, oh yeah, I recognize this. And those are two very, very different things.
This chart lays out the trap perfectly. Look at the left side, passive review. It feels easy, it's comfortable, but it creates weak, fragile memories that lead to forgetting. Now look at the right, active recall. It feels hard, it's effortful, but that is what builds strong, lasting memories. Here's the key takeaway. If your studying feels easy, you're probably doing it wrong.
Okay, so we've met the villain. Now let's introduce the hero of our story, active recall. And this isn't some new age trend. This is a powerful, scientifically proven technique for building memories that actually stick around.
So what is it exactly? It's actually really simple. Active recall is the process of pulling information out of your brain. Instead of trying to passively cram information in by rereading, you're actively forcing your brain to retrieve it from memory. This is the huge mental shift we need to make.
Here's a great way to think about it. Passive review is like looking at a finished map of a city over and over again. After a while, you might start to recognize the landmarks. But active recall, that's like putting the map away and trying to draw it from scratch. Now, which one of those activities is going to make you really learn the layout of the city? It's the second one, every time. It's way harder, but that's precisely why it works.
And the science behind this is so cool. It's called the testing effect. Every single time you struggle and then successfully pull a piece of information from your memory, you are literally strengthening the neural connection to that memory. It's just like lifting a weight to build a muscle. The effort of the retrieval itself is what makes the memory stronger and easier to find next time. And as a bonus, it instantly shows you exactly what you don't know yet.
All right, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Let's get super practical. The best part is, you can start doing this right now, today, with a few incredibly simple techniques.
Here are 3 super simple ways to start. First, after you read a page or a section, just close the book and try to explain the main points out loud from memory. That's it. Second, as you're reading, turn the headings into questions and try to answer them without looking. And my personal favorite, try to teach the concept to someone else, even if it's just your dog or an imaginary friend. If you can explain it simply, you really, truly get it.
You know, when you make this one change, this shift from passive review to active recall, you're doing more than just improving your study habits. You are fundamentally changing your entire relationship with learning. You go from being a temporary holding tank for information to someone who can truly master it.
So let's boil this all down. What's the core takeaway here? It's this. Stop just rereading your notes. Start quizzing yourself. That feeling of struggle, that effort you feel when you're trying to pull information out of your brain, that's not a sign you're failing. That is learning. To remember, don't just review, you have to retrieve.
So, the next time you sit down to learn something, whether it's for a test, a new skill for your job, or just something you're passionate about, you now have the secret. You have the right tool. You know how to make information stick. The only question left is, what are you going to choose to master?